I accidentally stumbled across an underrated gem of a YouTuber today. He has less than 250 subscribers and deserves millions, unironically. Probably going to drop everything and make a video about him. He's that good. Well, here we go. There's an old saying, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? YouTubers follow the same logic. You could have the greatest content in the world, but theoretically go completely unnoticed and not reap the benefits many would say you deserve for your dedication. Taste in creators is of course subjective, but there are many on the platform that are considered almost universally high quality, or underrated. A good example would be the familiar figure, James Lee, an old school Newgrounds animator turned YouTuber who makes some of the most edit-heavy and stylized videos on the platform. On top of being an innovator of his time, who created such classics as Tarboy, which inspired a whole generation of early YouTube animators in the late 2000s. His skills came from being a film school graduate, and in fact, YouTube is secondary to his job as a freelance animator working on short films and games. James Lee sat at around 100,000 subscribers when attention was first drawn to him on a wide scale by YouTubers such as PewDiePie and Markiplier.
You can subscribe to James Lee. He does incredibly cool videos. He's an animator. Check it out. It definitely deserves more subscribers.
But despite being underrated given the quality of his work, having a channel his size was no small feat. So that begs the question, is there someone who's demonstrated the ability to produce content at a similar quality who's even smaller? Well, that's exactly what I have for you today. Let me introduce you all to The Harry Gold Show, a channel that sits with 225 subscribers as we speak. Now, I'd never heard of him, and I'd be willing to bet none of you had either. But one day I was randomly starting up YouTube when I saw a particularly interesting video on my homepage. It was a cover of the Neil Cicierega song, Redesign Your Logo. And if you're unaware, Neil Cicierega is the man behind such internet classics like Brody Quest that I myself have parodied. I decided to click the video and my god was I glad I did.
Redesign your logo. We know what we're doing. We are here to help you. Everything's connected. Time is of the essence. We live in the future. Color makes us hungry. Everything's connected.
So yes, this is why I mentioned James Lee earlier. Obviously, the style here is very similar, but keep in mind that's the point. It's a one-off homage to both him and Neil. James Lee himself is even mentioned in the description. This video is fairly purposeless on its own, but you have to wonder about the abilities of a man who is able to faithfully parody a YouTuber known specifically for his high-quality editing. And as it happens, this cover video is only the opening segment taken from another one of Harry's videos, talking about the development of the KFC logo. All set to a 50s TV show aesthetic that presents Harry as the host.
Coming to you from beautiful downtown Fortitude Valley, it's the Harry Gold Show, with your host, Harry Gold. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the program. Many logos feature famous faces, and there are few more famous than that of Colonel Harland Sanders, string tie enthusiast, poultry exterminator, and founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken. But over the years, the benevolent bucket merchant in the logo has been prettied up, slimmed down, and smoothed over, morphing into something that only bears a superficial resemblance to the original man. As YouTube's self-appointed arbiter of likenesses, I'm going to fix the KFC logo so it actually looks like the real Colonel. As if it even needs to be said, this is not a paid promotion. KFC doesn't know I exist. Nobody does.
Oh, we'll see about that. You see, Harry Gold is a caricature artist whose content focuses on discussing art and media, such as YouTuber profile pictures and company logos. Still, he will often branch out to general topics like The Simpsons, usually to parody them.
Wikipedia describes Homer Simpson as a comedian and actor, known for portraying a semi-fictionalized version of himself on the sitcom The Simpsons. But in reality, this barely scratches the surface. Since his initial foray into the film industry in the early 1930s, Simpson has carved out for himself one of the most illustrious and colorful careers in Hollywood history.
Despite its narrow focus at times, Harry's content has more variety and passion than anyone would imagine without sitting and watching a video themselves. These reviews, for lack of a better word, have some of the snappiest editing and wittiest commentary on the platform, rivaling even the most successful creators who have a full-time staff at their aid. All while Harry is working alone and has less than 250 subscribers. But even if you brush me off, saying this is a bold claim and are still unimpressed with the content I've shown you, it's worth noting that Harry himself, while not known on YouTube, is nothing short of successful. He works as a professional artist for an effects studio called alt.vfx, and the Australian version of Mad Magazine, which he doubles as a writer for. In other words, even without his one-off parody segment, he's basically James Lee anyway. After all, he's a professional Australian studio animator who has a vastly underrated YouTube channel. How on earth there could be two of those in existence is beyond me. Maybe Harry is James's son.
Harry, look at you. You look so much like your father, like James.
But they differ in one major way. Unlike James, Harry hasn't become noticed in the public eye at all. Even before receiving direct support from PewDiePie and Markiplier, James Lee still sat at a moderate subscriber count and wasn't an unknown figure on the platform. Harry, on the other hand, is essentially an undiscovered cave I stumbled across by accident, completely unseen by human eyes in a millennia. But I don't understand why. He's only been uploading content for 6 months, but the channel is over a decade old, and I found a comment in the discussion tab from 9 years ago praising his content. So we know he must have posted other videos in the past, maybe even up to the same bar of quality. What they were or how many of he made, we don't know, and short of asking him, we won't ever know. But I think one thing that Harry demonstrates best is that you never know what's out there. There are high quality channels hiding in even the deepest cracks of this website, and finding them has gotten more difficult than ever. Some of them stay unpopular forever. Sure, Harry's content has a niche focus, but that hasn't stopped other people like him. It's all just luck, really. But I have to say, to hell with YouTube and their algorithm. Let's make our own luck. I want all of you to go and check out Harry's content and subscribe if you like what you see. Let's put this guy on the map. And to any bigger YouTubers who may be watching right now, if you're looking for anyone worthy of the attention you can provide, look no further than Harry Gold. He's been offline for a few days now, so let's give him the biggest surprise of his life when he returns. It's up to all of you now.